Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends X Factor Strong Guy Build-A-Figure, which is no longer a Build-A-Figure, but maybe isn't as good as the Build-A-Figure, but comes with more stuff figure. And we're going to do a little comparison to the original, and we're going to see which one we like more. I'm not sure at this point where I'm going to fall, but I want you guys to pay attention and to let me know by the end of the review which one you like more. But this is the standalone figure. I had somebody comment on the original review of the Build-A-Figure not that long ago. They said, why didn't you review any of the accessories? And I said, because this came out 15 years ago or whatever it was, and it's not what you think it is. I said it in a nice way. So yeah, this is the new one. I don't know, but let's get it off the stand and see if we can figure out if I do know. Alright, before we look at the figure, let's go ahead and look at my package. I do like the packaging. He looks nice in the package. No complaints there. Yeah, I think the new packaging is good. I like it. There's some artwork there that doesn't match the figure really at all. Like, don't even bother. And there's some more artwork that kind of matches the figure a little bit, but only sort of. Alright, so yeah, whatever. Fine packaging. Was this guy, like, expensive? Was the Build-A-Figure expensive or something? Is that why they did this? Or is it just Hasbro really trying to cash in? Let's make it a little bit darker there. I have no idea. I don't pay attention to eBay prices on things I already own, but maybe he was super expensive and they're trying to help everybody out. I tend to think they're selling all their Build-A-Figures just to make extra money without any expense, really. Alright, so he's got about 20 centimeters to the top of the noggin. That's going to make him just about 8 inches. Here he is up against Darwin. So he's got some good size. I think that's pretty much appropriate. And let's do a question of the day. Well, I don't have to. I already asked you the question of the day. Answer when you feel ready to answer. Which one do you think looks better? We're going to go over the differences right now. The new one has a lighter yellow. It's like a lemon yellow. This is closer to like a number 2 pencil yellow. This guy doesn't have the zipper painted. He doesn't have his button painted. And they didn't do the abdominal section the same way. Which one is more accurate, you might be wondering, and I don't know because I've looked through a ton of images of this guy and I'm not sure either of these are accurate. This one seems to be the closest, but almost every version of him that looks like this is just straight yellow, no blue abdomen. There is some blue abdomen, but it doesn't look like this, it looks more like this. His shoulders look more like this in most things. They don't almost ever look like this, so I don't know. And then as far as painting the zipper goes, well, you can say it's supposed to be painted, and then you could say it's not, depending on what you're looking at. I don't know. I want to like this one more because it has more paint, but I think because of the silver on the shoulders, and he doesn't have the extra blue here, I kind of like this one more, even though it's lacking the zipper and the button, but the button isn't normally painted like this in the comics. Huh. I don't know. I still don't know which one I like. I think my argument would be if you already have this one, probably just stick with it. Unless you really like something specific about this one. Yeah, it's a weird choice. Obviously you can see the blue difference on the back there. It's an interesting thing. I like this guy's head sculpts, but because they don't come with this one, I feel like this is the one head sculpt I would actually want to use more. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Let me know which one you guys like more. But now that you see the differences, I'm going to just stick to this guy for the review. If you're wondering if you can swap the heads, you can, but the skin tone is slightly different. Doesn't matter on the old one because he has no painted neck. This guy has a flesh tone neck, so it will matter a little bit. Alright, now as far as the aesthetic goes, this guy's plastic is much shinier for the blue parts, except for right here, and, well, kind of right here. So this one's not shiny at all. I think this blue is painted right here, and I'm positive this blue is painted, so it's weird that they don't match even a little bit, really. In hand, to the naked eye, they're not even close. On camera, it might not be too easy to tell, but they're very different, so that's worth noting. The blues for the sleeves and the pants, very shiny plastic, doesn't look great. The old one had a much more matte finish. Not perfect, but a much better finish across those blues. Okay. This yellow is almost transparent. You can kind of see the guts in there just a little bit with harsh lighting. You're probably not going to be able to tell on camera, but you can see through the plastic just a little bit. And then you do have the blue paint up here, which is fine. It's applied well, but I don't know if that's supposed to be there. I couldn't find much that supports that, like not with this look for him, so I don't know why they did it. It's weird. I think he looks way better with the silver shoulders. And this is painted well. The head's painted well. The head's a good sculpt, and it's painted nicely. I like it. I like it a bunch. I wish this head and this head were the two that we got. This head, I get why they have it, but I don't need it. Or just give us all 3. Like, that would be nice. Stop screwing everybody over, Hasbro. You already have the molds. It costs almost nothing to make it. So, yeah, we should have gotten all 3 heads. So, aesthetically, it's fine. These blues not matching sucks, though. And I think that's my biggest issue with this guy. It looks like it's not bad on camera. It's really bad. Mine is a really poor match in real life. I think I'd go with this guy if I had to pick just one if it wasn't for this. But I don't know. So yeah, he's not great considering he's basically just a repaint with some new accessories. The blues are so different, man. I'm just gonna go like 6 out of 10 for the aesthetic. They screwed up a major key part of him. Otherwise, he would look pretty darn good. But he's glossy and a repaint. Repaints have to be judged harder. If the only thing you're selling me is new paint and new colors, they need to look good. This one doesn't particularly. Now, as far as the accessories go, you do still get the 2 fist hands that have the fingernails showing through the gloves. So there's that, but then you get a couple extra hands. So you have 2 gripping hands and a thumbs up hand. Those are actually sculpted gloves. I like that. Of course, they didn't bother to pay for new gloves for the fist hands. Then you get the 2 heads that I already showed. So that's a decent spread. And then you do get his weights, which I get why they included that. I totally get it. They are heavy as heck. I guess they couldn't come up with a lighter way to make this. So these are going to be very specifically useful for your action figure display. If somebody's not standing there doing like a curl or a press or lifting it over their head, you know, just like grabbing it like actual weights, they're not going to do anything with this. You can't really have somebody swinging this around or anything, because even though the bar is curved, it is very floppy because these things weigh a lot. I mean, for an action figure, they're probably to scale. The weight's a lot. But it's nicely done. I have no complaints there, other than the weights have no markings on them. It seems like they could have put some markings on them. You know, just you needed it right here and right here only. But whatever, that's not a big deal. The bar looks nice. Olympic-sized bar, I suppose. Yeah, it's a nice accessory, but it has such minimal utility that I don't know that it's worth the extra expense. So I don't know, let me know how you guys feel about that. It's a cool accessory if you're going to pose him holding it, or pose like Colossus holding it, like, that's fine. I guess it has some more utility than just this guy holding it, but how many characters really do we need holding a barbell? Yeah, it's fine. Accessory-wise, I'll go 8 out of 10. It's still better than nothing, but it's not getting higher than that because they didn't include this head, which they should have, and they didn't include new fist hands on a mostly repaint figure, so that's irritating. Now, as far as the articulation goes, this guy's actually not bad given his stature, his strange body shape, his physique. He's got a double ball peg for the head, so he can look down, he can look up, he can lean to the side, he can do all the things you want him to do. Yeah, that's good. It's nicely done. The shoulders, when this thing first came out as a Build-A-Figure, some of the shoulders had the disc inserted upside down, and it created a bigger gap on one side than the other. It almost still looks like that's the case. I don't know if it's just poor design, but there's a huge gap going around the shoulders, which is not good looking. And you can say, oh, it's because it needs it. Not if it's well designed. You don't need to do that if you make the shoulder joint properly. But you can get his arms out to horizontal, and because they're not well designed, they will scratch. You have to be very, very careful. They will rub. Even with that giant gap, they will rub because they're not properly designed. But you can do that, and it actually works out well enough. He looks decent. He looks pretty good, given those giant shoulders. You get your full rotation. No bicep swivel, of course, just your rotation at the elbow, which only gives you about 90 degrees. So he is pretty limited in that sense. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. The gripping hands have only the horizontal hinge rather than the vertical hinge, which will be good for holding the weights in like a natural weight holding position, but that's about it. All right, for the torso, he can lean back a little bit, not a ton. Again, the gapping is excessive. And then leaning forward a little bit, not a ton. You would expect more because it's a pretty big torso. You'd think with big gaps he'd have a lot of range. Side to side is decent. Rotation will scratch the paint for sure. And then there's no rotation down at the lower. So he's pretty limited there. The hips, they go forward a little bit. The belt is in the way, but it's not really the belt, it's the diaper because it's just not enough room. The Hasbro has really hard time designing basic articulation a lot of the time. They don't go back at all. They go out to the side well enough, so that's fine. He's got pretty good range there. Thigh swivel is there. Oh, by the way, he's still pinned, and they still use gummy plastic. So if you care about pins, this is a problem for you. If you care about gummy plastic, this is a problem for you. I only care about the gummy plastic, but it's still annoying. So his knees work all right. His ankles, they're okay. They go pretty far back, far enough forward. Ankle rocker. It's a little bit loose though, and this guy's heavy. So yeah, that's a loose ankle. So yeah, he works better than you might have expected, but it's still not very good and certainly could be a lot better. Especially since he's a repaint, they should have at least fixed some tolerances, maybe adjusted some molds for gaps and things. I'm pretty sure they could do that, but they didn't. So his articulation is going to get a 6 out of 10. It's enough, but it's not particularly good. And now it's time for the final verdict. I'm going to reassess whether I think it's better than this one first. There's more to it, for sure. There's more paint on it, so in that sense, you're getting more for your money. But since it's a repaint, they're getting way more of your money for the product. And I think they should have done a little bit more for that. Like, not including this head really bothers me, and not including fist hands that don't have fingernails on them really bothers me. Otherwise, I would go with this one. I think I am. I'm going to still pick the new one over the old one. But there's definitely something to be said about the old one. The silver shoulders go a real long way, and the blues don't match, by the way, so you can't swap the parts. Yeah, it's just nowhere near as good as it should be, but I would pick the new one over the old one if I had to pick. I do enjoy it enough personally, but as a reviewer, it's really just a cash grab as far as I can tell, with a few accessories. Like these plates take up a good amount of space. It looks like, I can't tell if these littler plates, the smaller ones, are actually part of the sculpt. It looks like it's all one sculpt, which means this is a pretty deep mold. That's not like super cheap to make. That's weird. I guess they chose it that the mold would be more expensive and assembly would be easier rather than just stacking plates. That would have been cool. Just let you stack the plates yourself. Anyway, whatever. They spent money on weird things and not making the figure any better. So you got a nice barbell, but the figure is not as good as it should be. So I'll go overall 7 out of 10. It's fine. If you really wanted Strong Guy, it's not terrible. It's just not going to impress you, especially if you own the old one and know that they've already made their money on it. Oh well. Alright, I'm going to be done there. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.